Hello, and welcome back for another Hillsborough at Home Maker Lab. Today we're going to be using a material that you may have acquired a lot of lately, paper bags, to do a couple of cool things. Our first project is going to be a woven mat, and our second will be a simple folded envelope that you can actually use to mail letters and materials. So, for the woven mat, you're going to need a paper bag, some glue, maybe a pen, a marker, scissors. I like to use a little duct tape around the outsides to reinforce it. Let me show you how it's done. For our woven mat, you're going to need a rectangle cut out from the paper bag. Once you have that, you can take a regular sheet of paper or pictures from a magazine or any sort of strips of paper and cut them into long, thin rectangular strips like we've got here. Then you want to take your paper bag, fold it in half, and use your scissors to cut strips or slices down the middle, but not reaching the outer edges. That will produce this mesh texture when you open it up, which we're going to need to do our weaving. Once you've got your strips of paper, go ahead and start inserting them under, over, and under again through the slits that you cut into your piece of paper. And once you do that, you're going to want to alternate up, down, up over each one. It'll create a neat checkerboard pattern that you can see here. Then when you start the next strip, do it opposite the pattern that you did at the last. If you started above your paper bag square, start beneath. So that way you end up with the checkerboard pattern. What we're doing by doing that is that we're taking a piece of paper which has a certain amount of strength, and then adding that weave through it to make it stronger. So if we have our strips, they're long and strong going one direction, but thin and weaker going the other. So if I have strips that are going like this, and strips that are going like this, which is our paper bag, we're going to end up with a strong weave, a piece of paper or a mat that can hold more or put up with, has more durability than the parts contained individually. And this process has been used to make things stronger, make stronger things out of smaller pieces in almost every medium. You can do it with thread, you can do it with sticks, you can do it with twine, you can do it with paper. Anything that you can weave like this, you can use those small parts to create a stronger structure. And one with kind of a neat design. You can see some of the squares that I've missed there don't quite fit the pattern. So when you're doing this yourself, you can go a little slower and hopefully get those a little more accurately than I am. But I'll try to finish this up for you. Over, under, over, and under. Let's see. See if I can slip in our last piece here. The last one has the tightest fit. It's going to bring this all together. Over and under, we weave this to make this pattern stronger than it was before. All right, so now that we have a paper woven mat, I like to add a border just to make it a little bit stronger around the edges and give it just that extra level of durability to hold it all together. You can use regular tape, glue. You don't have to use anything if you don't want to. But I like to do this just to add that extra level. So let's go ahead and apply that to our mat. Now I'm going to use the whole width of the duct tape here to cover it. So I get half the mat, half the outside strip covered with the tape. And I just flip it over, cut it, pardon me, and fold this over again to make our border. There, we've got one duct tape edge. Let's do the rest. Flip, fold, and our other side. Repeat until done. What's fun to do with something like this is try to make a different pattern out of different colors. If you use two like I have, you can do it comes out that checkerboard way, but you can use different colors. If you try it with the picture, it kind of makes a fun articulated picture for you, which is another neat thing to do. Try experimenting with different colors, different widths of strips, and different materials to weave together. Now this is a very basic, easy craft, but it's easy to make a little more complex if you start using strings or wires or fabrics. You can build on this very simple idea to make something complex and useful. There. Now we have a mat that we can set down and use as a surface for our next craft. Let's go ahead and make an envelope. The next thing we're going to make out of a simple paper bag is an envelope. I have some templates that I've added to this project for you that you can print off and use to create your own. Just a little thing that's practical that you can use in your everyday life that's easy to make. So you're going to draw the outline of the template onto the paper bag. There. And use your scissors to cut that out. Now if you have a bag with a design on the middle, remember to put the design on the outside when you're tracing. That way it'll end up on the outside of your envelope. Since I drew my template over the design on this one, it's going to end up on the inside of my envelope, which is what I want because I want just a nice, simple brown paper envelope. There, we've got our very basic envelope shape. The template is labeled an A side, and a B side with glue. So let's go ahead and match that up. Perfect. To our design, and we'll start folding that in. So we'll start with A. If you want to, you can draw the crease lines to be a bit more precise if you like. But once you've done this, you should get to know the pattern pretty well. So we'll fold in the A sides. The more uniform you make it, the better it'll turn out. We're going to put a little glue on our side B. Got some stick glue. If you don't have stick glue, tape works just fine. And fold that up. Do you see what I mean about the design now being on the inside? If I had copied my template to the paper bag with that design on the opposite side of where I was cutting, it would now be facing outward. But this is fine for us because we just want a brown envelope. There, does this look a little familiar? And so we have our top flap that you can then fold over. Make a nice little perfect brown envelope that you can then send a letter, add your postage, your address, and send it off. They'll take it just fine. I hope you found that useful. And we'll see you next time at the Maker Lab. Bye-bye.